So what is a good DR, TF, or DA in SEO? In this video, I'm going to explain exactly what these metrics are, what they're trying to measure, and hopefully give you the context so that you understand what they're doing and whether this number is good given your website and your competition, and whether any of it matters. So let's get into it. My name is Frank. I'm the founder of Saga Pixel. I've been doing SEO for over 10 years at this point. And doing SEO this long, you know that things like trust flow, domain authority, domain rank, that all of these things get used on a daily basis in our industry. There's also a lot of misconceptions around what they actually are and what they're useful for. So I decided to shoot this video just to help. To start off, all of these tools are trying to approximate the amount of link equity that is flowing through a website. In other words, it's a measure of the overall backlink profile of the entire website. TF is short for trust flow, which belongs to SEO tool Majestic. DR is an abbreviation for domain rating, which belongs to Ahrefs. And DA belongs to Moz, and is also kind of getting deprecated these days. Honestly, not too many Moz users out there. In a nutshell, all of them are trying to approximate how much PageRank is flowing to a website overall that it can potentially pass over to a page on its website that you would want to outrank, or if it's your website, get to outrank other websites. All of these metrics are measuring backlinks and link equity. None of it has to do anything with traffic. None of it has anything at all to do with what Google thinks about your website. And the simple act of increasing or decreasing this number will have no direct impact on your organic search traffic at all, despite what anybody tells you. So what are these numbers useful for? Use number one, to get an approximation of how competitive the results for a specific search are. So let's say I perform the search, cheapest life insurance, no medical exam. I'm using the Ahrefs toolbar here in the search engine results, and it's showing me the domain rating of each one of these websites. They're all well into the 80s and 90s, which means that these are, generally speaking, very competitive websites. There's nothing in the teens or 20s to be found anywhere. If I wanted to rank a website with a domain rating or domain authority of 25, odds are I'm not going to be able to rank it in these search engine results, mainly because we have very authoritative websites. Not necessarily because of the metrics there. As you can see, we have Forbes, Bankrate, Aflac, MoneyGeek, and even as I go into page 2, like they all still have sky-high domain rating metrics. This one's interesting, is a 36, and it's probably a local place. Now let's take a look at the search result for the query, what is a cap rate? Wow, 92, 80, 86, 90. So far, this looks really competitive. If I have a domain rating in the teens, I would think, wow, I would never have a chance to rank for these queries. But let's keep on looking. As I go down the page, I start seeing some, at position 6, there's a 54. At position 8, there's a 45. At position 10, there's a 12. So the simple fact that there are some ultra high domain rating websites ranking for a search doesn't mean that you don't have a chance at page 1. In this scenario, if the one with the domain rating 12 did a significantly better job of providing this information, it would very much have a shot at the top of page 1. Use number 2, which is the most common method, is to get an idea of how much PageRank a specific link on the internet, like a website, would be able to pass over to your website. In other words, if I write an article for somebody else's website and work on a link back to my website, how much PageRank do I think is this article going to be able to pass over to my website? Now, there are a lot of factors that can impact this, like the internal linking of that website. In other words, a higher domain rating doesn't always mean that that website's going to be able to pass more PageRank over to your website. In other words, if you write this article and it's buried deep into the site architecture and there are very few backlinks going directly to that page, it's not going to be able to pass a ton of PageRank over to your website. In addition, if this page has 7,500 other backlinks going out of it versus 7, it's also going to dilute the amount of PageRank that's flowing over to your website. Even more importantly than all of this, a lot of the, if not most of the websites out there that are selling links to other websites do things to artificially prop up these metrics. So you may see that has a domain rating of 75 or like a 65, when in actuality, a lot of those backlinks are kind of junk, and there's no way that Google is passing that amount of link equity from those websites over to your website. And if those websites think that they can charge more for a link, if they can prop up that metric, believe me, they're they're going to do it. So my recommendation is, if you are doing link building, avoid the websites that have super low metrics, but very often there's not going to be much of a difference between a domain rating or domain authority 25 and one that's going to be a 75, if it's a website you've never heard of, for example. So don't give too much mind to those metrics when you are trying to acquire links from the websites. In reality, none of these metrics have any sort of impact on the way your website ranks on Google. Don't obsess over it. And if you are trying to do any sort of link building, you're better off focusing on the relevance of the backlink. Like if you have a construction website, getting links from home improvement websites with lower domain ratings are just going to have a lot more value than you getting backlinks from, like, I don't know, a financial services website, even if it has higher metrics. And honestly, also pay attention to the traffic of the website, because that will tell you a lot more about what Google thinks of it than whatever third-party tool, domain rating, domain authority is telling you.